stand anymore, especially when they're talking about Indian variants, trying to scare us. But if you make an analysis of everything that they've said, you can't possibly confide in it, can you? Because they keep saying, "Oh, there's nothing to worry about." No, you know, there's only 4 people who've had this Indian variant. It's likely to become the new strain. But anyone who's done research, I'm not an expert, but anyone who's done any research at all will know that with any virus, there'll always be variants. There's nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about at all. And I personally am more afraid of the injection than I am of catching the virus. Although having said that, I think I caught it because I lost my taste and smell. But I actually recovered after a couple of weeks. I recovered after 2 weeks, and this is the usual thing. So I would envisage that I have natural immunity. I mean, I look healthy, don't I? And now we're coming out of lockdown. I am prepared, ladies, to make love. Okay? I am prepared to do it. If you're interested. There's a few men looking at me intimately. There's a few men in the audience looking at me intimately as well. I want to point out I was gay, saw him, changed my mind. But what is it all about? I personally...
The entire year, everyone's forgot your original repertoire. Yeah, a whole year.
There you go.
Bring it back, mate.
Yeah, there you go. I personally want to live in a society which is transparent. I want my government to be transparent. I do have differences in opinion. You might have heard briefly that I am a vegetarian. For me, that is the only good thing that the government has done. Oh, good. I'm a vegetarian. Yeah, good. That's in my opinion, it is the only good thing that the government has done. They have recently declared that animals experience pain and suffering and emotions just like us. And for me, that was a very, very positive thing from the government. They haven't done anything else that's any good, but that very one thing for me is very, very important. If anyone wants to ask me any questions, I'm very happy to answer your questions with the... Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I have not studied as they have. You know, I'm just going on instinct, on feeling, on their contradictions. The government's made many, many contradictions. So because of that, I am not persuaded by any of the things that they say. And they are right. You know, challenging the BBC yesterday was a very, very important thing, because the BBC, as opposed to allowing proper discussion, proper dialogue, they should. I mean, they should get people like Mike Eden and Dr. Vernon Coleman on their shows, and we should have proper discussions, and we can make a decision for ourselves. We're not stupid. Let's listen to what they have to say. Instead, they are being silent. So these people that I've just referred to have got 40-some, I think actually in the case of Coleman, he's got 50 years of experience in science. And, you know, we can't trivialize what they are telling us. What they're saying is very, very valuable. And, you know, they don't have a vested interest. And remember, these men are 60, 70, I think, probably 75. I mean, why would a man, you know, risk having all that abuse thrown at him if he's going to lie? He's not lying. I think you have to listen to what these people say. And you know, I've got on my, because I run a comedy club, naturally I've got a lot of left-wing friends that, you know, they like comedy, like everybody likes comedy. And they don't like me particularly because I'm an individual, and they don't like individuality. This is the thing. They feel comfort and security by you know, telling each other how it is. There's no discussion amongst them. They establish an opinion and that's it. Well, I'm very different. I'll listen to them, I'll listen to you. It's not actually about one thing being right or one thing being wrong. You know, and this is the whole purpose, I think, of Speaker's Corner. And by the way, debate should never, ever, ever be about conflict. Even if you feel passionately about Israel or passionately about Palestine, the best way forward is not to actually take sides, but to try to enter into dialogue with people who think differently from you, because that is the only way, that communication is the only way to real peace. Now, of course, having said that, you might fundamentally disagree with me, but I still maintain that statement, because by holding grudges, I know from my experience, holding grudges doesn't accomplish anything but more hate, more disharmony, and that's not the way forward for me. I'm very persuaded by the late Lord Donald Soper, who spoke here to the age of 95, and he was a Christian pacifist, an intellectual, and this was one of the things that he would say, and I was always struck by what he had to say. You know, so this is my opinion. I know that it might not be representative of everybody's views here, but it's my view. I think we've got to start embracing people as opposed to, you know, hating people, because I think, you know, we're very similar. People are very similar. It's just, you know, misunderstandings. Even in love relationships, you know, with better communication, you can sometimes sort things out. You know what I mean? Yeah, you agree with it. There you go. You're not meant to agree with me. Okay. Give you the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, no problem. I will get down unless there are anybody here who wants to ask me anything.
The first question belongs to have you ever known anybody's spoon?
Actually not.
No lockdown?
Hang on.
No, we need more lockdown.
This gentleman asked a very interesting question, because he's asking, do you ever know anybody comprehensively? Actually, the answer to that is no, you don't. I used to watch Jeremy Kyle. Yes, I know, I'm sad. But there were some interesting cases on Jeremy Kyle's show. For example, I remember a case of a woman who married a man 25 years, had no idea that he was bisexual. 25 years later, you know, it all came out. He had, over the 25 years, socialized with other gay men, and you know, it was a really big shock to her. The point that I'm trying to make is she didn't actually know who her husband was. And I think actually a more famous case, Michael Barrymore. Do you know Michael Barrymore? I mean, sadly his career demised when there was a murder at you remember the story? But back in the day, he was a well-known showman. Everybody liked him. He was a great entertainer. Yeah, but he later came out and said that he was gay, so nobody knew that. The British public didn't know that. Of course, in Great Britain, we are more tolerant of the gay community, and quite rightly so, because, you know, the point is that we're all different and we're all fascinating in our unique, in our ways. And, you know, the other thing is, you know, we're unique because it is so incredible that we're born in the first place. I mean, my mother had to be turned on by my father, otherwise I wouldn't be here. So he did a good job. He did a good job. Of,
In your opinion?
well, I wasn't around, but he did a good job of exciting my mother. Do you know how to excite? Do you know how to excite? So women are looking. The ladies in the audience are looking and seeing if there's any potential lovers in the audience. Well, I'm going to answer you. I don't think so, ladies. But yeah, I think for most people, this is a really important thing. You know, physical contact, love, hugging, really, really important. And I personally think the aggression that happens in the world is because there's not enough of it. But men need to know how to, you know, some of them have got terrible personalities. And, you know, women don't really like narcissistic, self-centered men, you know, they don't like that. Yeah, I'm speaking to you. It's funny. Well, I made my speech today. I did it, which was good in the rain. Thank you so much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys. And I hope that you're going to come and see my Piers Corbyn 24th of May. Thanks guys. Oh, I got some applause.
Yeah, the 24th, be there, 8 o'clock. It's going to be fun.
It should be fun. Please,
We will. We need the details to advertise. Tell people where they're not. Anybody want some more of these leaflets? Fantastic. Is that enough?
there is
You want more?
there is a link for tickets. There's a link for tickets.
All right. Tell me the link for tickets. Yeah.
Well, I don't remember off my hand, but I'm going to give you the website.